Hello friends, welcome to the channel turtleconnect.com. Okay, and today in this session we will discuss about what is promise in JavaScript. So basically we will discuss what is promise and how to use promise and what are the methods and how to use multiple promises at once. Okay, so let's go to the step page and we will just create with a sample example and demo. Okay, for promise. So we will discuss today promise in JavaScript. Okay, so what topics we will discuss today? We will discuss what is promise. Second, what are the phases in promise? What is promise chaining? Okay, and next one is we will discuss what is promise.all, promise.all settled. Okay, and promise.any. Promise.race, and we will discuss promise.resolve and what is promise.reject, how to use the reject, and we will also use the prototypes promise.prototype. Then so we will discuss about catch. Okay, and we will discuss about finally. So these are the topics which we will cover inside the promise. So we start with promise. What is promise? Promise is basically used to handle the asynchronous operations. To handle async operation. So let's suppose that we have an API call and we want the response whenever you want to call the API. Okay. So every time you don't need to call the API and you have to write on that uh, success of callback and or if it is error, then you have to write. So for that you will write a promise and you will just invoke the promise, and if you call the promise and subscribe using the then the API call will be executed and you will get the response as either it will be resolved or rejected. Okay. So what are the phases in promise? There are basically three phases. First one is pending, second one is fulfilled, and third one is rejected. So let's discuss is what is the pending state. So we go for the example. Let's suppose we have a promise name one, promise one is equal to new promise. So basically you will use with the new keyword. Okay, and we have a callback inside, and what we will get inside this, we will get the two methods, what is resolve and another is reject. Okay, so we will basically get the resolve and reject. Okay, so we will use both two. If there will success, then we will set the data and send with the result, and if there is an error, we will send the error region and reject will be called. Okay, so what we'll have to do, we will have test, we will use the set timeout to test an asynchronous operation. So let's suppose we have an set timeout and we will just make it resolve, means it will be passed after, let's suppose 1 second, and what will our data, let's suppose I will have to print hello. Okay, so we have a promise, and this is in which state? Pending state. So this is the basically the pending state. So we have created a promise and we are basically resolving it. Okay, after 1 second. Okay, so now what we have to do, we will just subscribe the promise using the then. Okay, and inside then we have two callbacks. Okay, you can have two callbacks like that. First one will be your first callback is for resolve state, and second one will be the reject state. So better you can create separate method. It will be easy to understand for you. Function resolved. Okay, and here we will write console dot log, and we will print the whatever the value will be passed here. Okay, and we will just sending one to track which will be called. Okay, so similarly we have a method for reject as well. Rejected, and we have a console error here for rejected. Okay, and we have to track which console is called. Okay, so we will just pass it in place of result, and we will pass the reject one. Okay, so we have basically two methods inside then. So we are using this prototype then, and we are using the resolve condition here. So in console you can see we are getting hello means with one, means resolved condition is calling, and then after 1 second. Okay, now what we'll have to do, if you want to get reject, then you have to give the region with the reject. So this is basically the region. Okay, so you can see 2 is printing. Okay, means our rejected state is called. Okay, so this state is basically called fulfilled state. And this is called rejected. Okay, so this is the first stage, pending stage. If you will not call this p1, then it will not be executed. Okay, so you will not get any print here. Okay, so if you subscribe using the then you will have two other phases, fulfilled or rejected. Okay, so basically we have three phases. Okay, now what we can discuss, catch and finally. Okay, so you can have first we discuss about this one, promise chaining. What is promise chaining? So basically you can create a chain of then like that here. After then you can have multiple then like that. Okay, so this is called basically chaining. Let's suppose if you want to print here something, console.log with data, whatever the data you are getting. Okay, for that you have to return the data from here. Return the, similarly if error, you can also return from error. Okay, now you can see in the reject case. Okay, we are getting the rejected. Okay, and see, return will be also always in the last. Okay, so you can see we have the hello, and in second we have hello which was printing inside this, which I can say 4 3. Okay, so see, you can see that 2 is the error, console error, and 3 is with hello which is printing here. Okay, so this is the basically called the chain, and you can also go for next. If you return from here, if you return the from here, you can also get it inside next then. So this is the fourth. So you can see hello is passing from then to then. You can pass. You have can have multiple chain like that. Okay. Now come to the prototype called catch and finally. So you can use the then after you can have a catch. So if any error occurs inside then it will go for catch and then you will have finally. But the name, as the name suggests, that finally means it finally will be executed every time. Will be executed every time whether success or failure. No matters whatever the status, it will be called every time. Okay, so you can see that every time we are getting printed 4. Okay, so you can see, let's suppose we will have some error here. We can define error here. So basically we are rejecting, and in rejecting you can have like this uh, throw error. Okay, so see, you can have error here inside the catch. So we are basically printing the error, whatever the error you can pass with the region. Okay, okay, and finally we'll be executing in all cases, whether it is a success or it will be in catch, no matter, it will be printing every time. Okay, so we are basically just commenting this out so that you can easily understand. Okay, now here you can say okay, so we have covered then, catch, and finally. Okay, and now we come for the all 6 methods. Okay, one by one. So basically what is promise dot all? So basically promise all select settled, any, and race. These all are used with multiple promises. Okay, if you have multiple promises with you, then it will be used. Okay, so let's suppose we have another promise. Okay, p2, and we are resolving this one, and this comes in 1 second, and this is 100 millisecond, and we are printing it here high. So we are having two promise, so will write here promise, and we have here all, and we will pass here promise1 comma promise2 as array inside the all. Okay, so you can see all the response of the resolve 1 and resolve 2 both are coming inside the array. Okay, so this is simply array with printing the result. Now what is the difference with all settled? So now we will use all settled here. So you can see the response is in array, but there is object. There is not the direct data coming from resolve. Okay, so if you check inside the object, we will have a status called fulfilled status. This is the status fulfilled, means this has been success, and the other one we have a fulfilled, and the value is this one. So you are getting the object with status and the value what you will get in the resolve. Okay, now what happens if you are using the all, and with one scenario resolve and one with reject, what happens with it's one. Okay, so you can see that we are not getting any resolve here inside the one, means fulfilled state, but we are here you can see this state is already fulfilled and this is rejected. That means inside the array of the promise, if anyone fails, it will go to the fail of the means rejected state, and it will give only the region. So you are getting only the region. What is the region for failure? Okay, you will not getting any value for the any resolved one. So for avoiding this means to overcome this, we will use the all settled for this state. All settled. So what happens here? Whether it is reject or whether the any promise is resolved, no matters. You will get always inside the fulfilled state. Okay, means resolved state, and you will get the object, and inside the object you will have status fulfilled for one and status rejected for second one with the region. What will be the region for error? Okay, so at all settled is benefit if you are uh, if you want uh, result for anyone which will be success. Otherwise, if you will use all, then if any one of the promise fails, you will not get any result of which was success. Okay, so now come to the next one, which are any and race. So any and race are basically similar. Okay, if you have multiple response, any will give you only one result, and race will all which always give you only one result. Okay, so if you have to here any, you will get the first one whatever the first result comes. So basically this is coming after 1 second, and this is 100 millisecond. So basically you will get this one. In this scenario we have one reject and we have one resolve. Okay, so only one is resolving hello, so we are getting hello. If you have multiple resolve success resolve, okay, then you will get high because it is coming earlier than this one. Same for same you can use race as well. In race, the first come response will be the winner. Similarly here you can see 100 millisecond will be the winner in the race. Okay, and this will be not coming. If you change it to 10 millisecond, then hello will be the winner. Okay, if you have 0 here, then again high will be the winner in the race. So you will get only one response from all the promises. Okay, you will not get multiple response with any and race. So the main difference is that if any failure will not get success resolved, if any one failure occurs, you will not get your resolved one. Okay, if any failure occurs, no matter failure or success, you will get resolved. If any failure occurred, you will get resolved with status, whether it is fulfilled or this will any first one will be your success. Similarly, first one will be your success. Whatever the first API response or the response comes, you will get with the. So this will return array. This will return array, and this will return single. This will also return single response. Okay, so here you will have value. Okay, and here in this you will have object. Okay, so these are the basics in a promise. So I think you are you got to understand what is promise. Just promise is just used to create a promise, and which is for asynchronous operations, to manage asynchronous operations so that we can use it later whenever in any page or any where you want to use. You can just call them and subscribe them using the then, and you will get result in response resolved or rejected. Whether if it is success, then it will be resolved. If it is failure, then it will be rejected. And you have multiple then called promise chaining, and you can have catch and finally. Okay, and these are all the prototypes, and you can use this all methods for promise. Okay, okay, subscribe our channel for next coming topics on JavaScript, and thanks for watching this